Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to the next session of our live lecture series for CSS 2025-2026. Today critical topic is Pakistan relations with the Muslim world with a focus on Iran, Saudi Arabia, Indonesia and Turkey. All vital players shaping regional diplomacy, economics and Islamic solidarity. So mastering this axis will equip you for high scoring current and analytical answers in your exam. So we will discuss introduction, historical, cultural, and religious ties between Pakistan and the Muslim world, bilateral relations, in-depth analysis of Pakistan ties with Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Indonesia, and multilateral cooperation, Pakistan engagement through OSCE, D8, and other Islamic forums, challenges and strategic outlook, current issues, future prospects, and examination preparation guidance. So Pakistan foreign policy is deeply enmeshed with the broader Muslim world due to historical, religious, and linguistic affinities. Strategic alignments since 1947, Pakistan has sought unity and leadership within the Muslim Ummah for both ideological legitimacy and practical alliances across security, economics, and political platforms. Geopolitical realities. The importance of the OSCE, D8, and Economic Cooperation Organization ECO forums reflects this vision. So today, Pakistan engagement must navigate sectarian dynamics, notably Saudi Arabia, Iran rivalry, shifting Gulf priorities, and complex economic dependencies, all while seeking strategic autonomy. So, focus in CSS answers, frame ties is dynamic and evolving, analyze with facts, and connect to Pakistan's security and economic interest. So, focus countries are Iran, neighbor with complex historical and sectarian dynamics, Saudi Arabia, traditional ally with strong religious and economic ties, Turkey, strategic partner with growing defense collaboration, and Indonesia, emerging relationship with the world's largest Muslim democracy. So, these four nations represent different dimensions of Pakistan engagement with the Muslim world, from immediate neighbors to distant partners. Pakistan Iran relations. So, geographic and cultural affinity are a shared 900-kilometer border, common history predating independency, and overlapping cultural sectarian links, Sunni Shia communities. And economic links. Iran supplies electricity to Balochistan. Both operate joint border markets, and US sanctions and the stalled Iran Pakistan gas pipeline is a potential energy game changer. And security and border management, persistent concerns over drug, arms trafficking, and cross border movements, especially by militants, TTP, BLA, sheltering on either side. And sectarian sensitivities, domestic agendas, targeting killings, mosque attacks sometimes spill across the border, affecting trust. And Iran-Pakistan gas pipeline proposed 1900-kilometer pipeline project facing delays due to international sanctions, potential game changer for Pakistan energy security, and establishment of joint border markets to promote legal trade and reduce smuggling. Six markets plan along the shared border. And bilateral trade, current trade volume below potential $1.5 billion, hampered by banking restrictions and US sanctions regime. So, border security challenges, joint efforts against cross-border terrorism, cooperation against TTP and BLA threats, regular border commission meetings, and joint naval exercise in Arabian Sea. So recent developments, high-level military exchanges to improve trust, intelligence sharing mechanism established, border fencing initiatives, anti-smuggling operations coordination. So despite occasional tensions, both countries recognize the importance of maintaining border security cooperation to address mutual threats. And Pakistan, Iran, and key challenges, sectarian sensitivities, US sanctions impact, regional rivalries, and cross border security. So, Sunni Shia dynamics occasionally strain relations. Pakistan balances domestic sectarian concern with diplomatic ties. International sanctions on Iran limit banking channels, trade potential, and energy cooperation. Pakistan balancing act between Iran and Saudi Arabia creates diplomatic challenges and occasional tensions over militant groups operating across the border, mutual accusation of harboring insurgents. And Pakistan and Saudi Arab relationship. So Pakistan and Saudi Arabia share one of the most enduring partnership in the Muslim world, characterized by strong religious connections, centered through the two holy mosque, consistent diplomatic support in international forums, military cooperations dating back decades, financial assistance during Pakistan economic crisis. So since the 1960s, Saudi Arabia has been Pakistan's most consistent all-weather partner, supporting Pakistan during wars, economic crises, and at diplomatic forums. So, at the Guardian of Islamic Holiest Sites, KSA is central to Pakistan religious consciousness. Over 2 million Pakistani live and work there, from forming the largest single overseas community from Pakistan. And economic lifeline, KSA has repeatedly rescued Pakistan with oil and deferred payments, outright grants, and foreign currency deposits. Most recently, with a $2 billion deposit in 2023. And military and political ties, Pakistan has sent troops for training and protection of the kingdom, and is a founding member of the Saudi-led Islamic Military Alliance. So, in the past 5 years, KSS support has been instrumental in securing IMF bailouts for Pakistan. And Pakistan, Saudi Arab current trends shift to investment, no longer just a donor. Case is investing in Pakistan Special Investment Facilitation Council SIFC projects, mining, refining, and CPEC 2.0 zones, and joint military drills, defense industrial deals, and counter-terror coordination via the Islamic military alliances. So Pakistan neutral stance on the Yemen conflict, occasionally stand ties. KSA expects solidarity on critical issues, while Pakistan tries to preserve ties with both Riyadh and Tehran. So Vision 2023 and labor, Saudi Arabia Vision 23 is reshaping labor demands and remittance flows. Pakistan is adapting through new worker skills programs, always highlight changing nature of bilateral ties from aid deposits to investment and link economic energy and remittance flows to domestic stability. So now we'll discuss Pakistan-Turkey relations. So Turkey recognized Pakistan immediately after independence. Diplomatic, military, and people-to-people ties are robust. So diplomatic and defense collaborations, Turkish support on Kashmir in OIC, UN forums is steadfast, mutual support during economic political crisis, and military partnership collaboration in JF-17 fighter jets, Millennium class, Millennium class warship constructions, and T-129 helicopter deals position Turkey as a critical defense partner. And cultural exchange. So Turkish dramas Ertugrul enjoy mass following, sparking new waves of cultural diplomacy, academic exchange programs, and tourism. So Pakistan, Turkey, growing dimensions, high-level strategic cooperation council, 6 sessions held by 2025, delivering MOUs in aviation, technology, education, health, and trade. And economic operations, B2B networking forums, direct flights, halal tourism, and educational exchanges are expanding multilateral coordination, alignment at OIC, UN, and in post disaster relief, earthquakes, and floods, etc. And defense diplomacy, Turkish assistance in modernizing the Pakistan Navy and joint exercises strengthen security ties in the Indian Ocean and Mediterranean theaters. So CSS angle focus on multi-sectoral cooperation and project-based deliverables. Now we'll discuss Pakistan-Indonesia relations. So Indonesia is the world's largest Muslim majority state and a G20 member with growing diplomatic warmth and economic ambition. So international platforms, close cooperation in OIC, D8, and jointly championing Islamic causes, climate, gender rights, and Palestine. So Indonesia consistently articulates support for Pakistan's stance on Kashmir within OIC, even as it balanced ties with India. And bilateral trade has crossed $3 billion but remains below potential, with Indonesia exporting palm oil and Pakistan exporting textiles and rice. And Pakistan and Indonesia cooperation areas are trade and investment, Islamic finance and halal industry, education and scholarship, tourism, etc. So bilateral trade has crossed $3 billion but remains below potential, and PTA expansion is under negotiations. Ambition is to double trade by 2027. Islamic finance and halal industry, joint ventures in halal food, Islamic fintech, policy dialogues on Sharia compliant banking, and new scholarship schemes announced for Pakistani students, cultural diplomacy expanded to language, arts, festivals, and university tie-ups. So greater airline connectivity has boosted religious and leisure tourism post-pandemic. So mention emerging collaboration on climate change, Islamic finance and policy-oriented answers. Multilateral cooperations with the Muslim world, OIC role. Pakistan is an advocate for Kashmir, Palestine, and combating Islamophobia. Hosted OIC foreign ministers 2022-2025 lead calls for international action against Gaza bombing and Myanmar treatment of Rohingya. So multilateral cooperation, economic forums are D8 organization, economic cooperation organization, and Islamic Development Bank. So Pakistan participation in the developing aid groups alongside Turkey, Iran, Indonesia, Malaysia, Egypt, Nigeria, and Bangladesh focuses on economic cooperation among major Muslim nations and economic cooperation organizations regional platform with Iran, Turkey, and Central Asian states for trade facilitation, energy cooperation, and transportation link. Pakistan benefits from ISDB financing for infrastructure, education, and health projects, participates in Islamic finance initiatives. Multilateral cooperations, humanitarian issues like Palestine advocacy, Rohingya crisis, and Syrian conflict. So Pakistan maintain unwavering support for Palestinian rights through OIC resolutions and UN awards, condemn Israel actions in Gaza, and Pakistan has supported OIC initiatives for Rohingya Muslims, providing humanitarian assistance and diplomatic pressure on Myanmar. Pakistan has participated in OIC efforts to address the Syrian humanitarian crisis while maintaining a position of non-interference. So Pakistan consistently aligned with the Muslim world position on humanitarian crises affecting Muslim population globally. Multilateral cooperation, some challenges like structural limitations, OIC lacks enforcement mechanism, resolutions often remain symbolic, and limited economic integration among members, institutional capacity constraints. So strategic divergences in internal divisions on key issues, competing national interest, varying relationships with global powers, need for functional cooperation beyond statements. So despite these challenges, multilateral forums remain important platform for Pakistan to advocate its diplomatic objectives within the Muslim world. So challenges in relations with the Muslim world like sectarian divides, balancing act, geopolitical shifts, and economic dependency. So Saudi-Iran rivalry impacts Pakistan's ability to maintain balanced relations, domestic sectarian sensitivities, influence in foreign policy, UAE-Israel normalization, and broader Arab realignments create new diplomatic complexities for Pakistan's traditional positions. And navigating between Turkey, Qatar bloc, Saudi UAE bloc, and Iran requires careful diplomatic maneuvering. So reliance on Gulf states for labor markets, remittances, and financial support limits policy autonomy in certain contexts. So sectarian dynamics impact on foreign policy, Pakistan domestic sectarian composition, majority Sunni with a significant Shia minority, creates unique challenges in its relations with the Muslim world, balancing ties with Saudi Arabia and Iran without appearing to favor either, managing domestic sectarian sensitivities when engaging with regional powers, and preventing spills over regional sectarian conflicts into Pakistan. Geopolitical realignments and new challenges like Abraham Accords, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and Sudan, normalizing ties with Israel creates a diplomatic pressure on Pakistan's traditional position. 2023 Saudi Iran detonate mediated by China presents both opportunities and challenges for Pakistan regional positioning, Turkey more independence, foreign policy and competition with the traditional Arab powers creates complex alignment choices. US-China rivalry impacts Muslim world alignments requiring careful navigation by Pakistan. So the case study Yemen conflicts in 2015, Saudi Arabia requested Pakistan military participation in the Yemen intervention against Houthi rebels, presenting a difficult choice, supporting Saudi Arabia, a crucial economic partner, avoiding entanglement in a complex regional conflict, and considering implications for relations with Iran. So Pakistan response, Pakistan Parliament unanimously voted to maintain neutrality while offering diplomatic support and protection for Saudi territory. This decision temporarily strained Saudi relations but demonstrated Pakistan's commitment to balance diplomacy and strategic autonomy. So it also highlighted the challenges of navigating competing pressures from Muslim world partners. Emerging opportunities like economic diversification, regional connectivity, defense collaboration, knowledge economy. So, Gulf states' economic diversification beyond oil creates new opportunities for Pakistani exports, investment, and skilled labor. Growing indigenous defense industries in Turkey, Pakistan, and others enable mutually beneficial technology partnership. CPEC extension and regional infrastructure initiatives offer potential for enhanced connectivity with the Muslim world, and cooperation in education, technology, and innovation presents new avenues for engagement beyond traditional sectors. So, future trajectory, key trends, economic pragmatism, multilateral engagement, strategic autonomy, and cultural diplomacy. So, shift from ideological to economic focus, partnership, investment driven relationship replacing aid dependency, greater focus on functional cooperation through OIC, developing aid, and other platforms to address shared challenges. Increasing emphasis on balanced relationships that preserve Pakistan's freedom of action in foreign policy and enhance people to people connections through education, tourism, and culture exchange to strengthen relationship. So, CSS examination strategy, content organization, introduction, 15% of answer, historical context of Pakistan ties with the Muslim world, overview of key dimensions, strategy, economic, ideological, brief thesis statement on current state of relations, then body, bilateral relations, analysis of ties with the key countries like Iran, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, comparative assessment of strengths and challenges, and recent developments and future trajectory, and multilateral engagement, so Pakistan's role in OIC, D8 and other forums, effectiveness of multilateral forums, challenges and opportunities in collective action. So conclusion 20% strategic assessment of Pakistan's position, policy recommendation for enhancing relations, future outlook and emerging trends. So, factual accuracy include precise data on trade volumes, remittances, key agreements, and diplomatic milestone. Avoid vague generalization. Then a reference recent events 2023-2025 demonstrate current awareness, connect historical patterns to present dynamics, present multiple perspectives on complex issues, acknowledge both achievements and limitations in Pakistan approach, move beyond descriptive accounts to analyze underlying motivations, constant and strategic calculations. So, key resources for CS professions, official sources are Ministry of Foreign Affairs, press release and statements, joint communiques from bilateral visits, OIC resolutions and declarations, economic data from State Bank of Pakistan. Then economic resources may be IPRI journals and policy papers, strategic studies journal, contemporary academic research in Pakistan foreign policy, and news resources like Dawn News, The News Express, Tribune diplomatic coverage, Al Jazeera, TRT World, for regional perspective, foreign policy magazines and journals. So, think tank reports, ISSI, IPRI, PIDE policy briefs, international crisis group reports, and sample CSS questions may be analytical questions like Pakistan relations with the Muslim world are characterized more by pragmatic interest than ideological solidarity, discussed with reference to its ties with Saudi Arabia and Iran. Then a policy question, evaluate Pakistan balancing act between competing blocs in the Muslim world. How can Pakistan maintain strategic autonomy while preserving its core relationship? And trace the evolution of Pakistan engagement with the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. Has the OIC been an effective platform for advancing Pakistan diplomatic objectives, and contemporary questions like analyze the impact of recent geopolitical realignments in the Middle East on Pakistan's traditional foreign policy position. So, what challenges and opportunities do these shifts present? So, go beyond a narrative, discuss relations in strategic security, energy, diaspora, and ideological dimensions. Integrate recent high level visits, MOUs, disputes, for example, January 2024, Pak Iran strikes and new investment deals, KSA and SIFC. So, OIC, Kashmir, Islamophobia, D8, issue of connectivity are all examinal angles, always link foreign ties with Pakistan domestic policy needs, energy security, skills for diaspora, technology upgrades, or crisis diplomacy. So Pakistan relations with the Muslim world are an enduring axis of foreign policy. The way forward lies in diversified investment-based economic ties, pragmatic balanced diplomacy among rival blocs, and energetic pursuit of strategic autonomy. So use fresh data, adopt a neutral or analytical tone, map out challenges and opportunities, and always end with actionable future oriented policy suggestions. So, if you found this in depth review helpful, like, comment, and share, subscribe for further expert guidance, live lectures, and CSS exam strategies. Stay ambitious and stay strategic.